Going? Alright, it's going. Okay. So, I have a few questions about your budgeting with the camp and just being in charge of the tennis overall here.
Okay.
So, when your budgets, how often does it change? That you have to really revise anything for the camp, or?
Well, I think like with any financial decision you make, whether it's a budget or you buy something, you need to see what you have available and factors that affect it. As far as the camp is concerned, labor cost is by any objective measure the highest expense that an employer deals with. So therefore, when you make your schedule, you try to make your schedule based on the number of campers that you have and the length of time that those campers are staying in your camp. Having said that, that is a floating variable. So I have to constantly be dynamic and make adjustments. Oddly enough, particularly this summer, I've had to make a number of adjustments with that to be able to bring enough money into the business while you try to be as fair as you can. You know me, I happen to be somebody that tries to look out for the people that work with me or for me, and I try to be somebody that helps you as an employee to make some money while the business has to survive and stay in the black, if you will. So the answer is to your question that you have to literally be dynamic and be willing to review the numbers that you have in front of you and the length of time that each camper stays in the camp, and then make hopefully good decisions based on trying to, again, let the employees make some money while the business has to stay afloat.
Right. Now, when you're dealing with your budgets, what programs do you use to Excel, or is there a specific program?
I honestly, I sometimes would use Excel, but being on a very big operation here, I'm specific in what I do, but it's a pretty straightforward issue for me. The biggest thing is really to pay attention to what I just described earlier,
right.
And as long as I keep reviewing that and pay attention to it, it works out pretty well.
Okay.
And yeah, it's pretty straightforward that way.
So, is it you that's accountable for this, or like do you have to go to, say, Miss Nikki, the manager, or is it just strictly you accountable?
It is strictly me that is accountable for it, and my business operates as an independent contractor out of this facility. So and that's a part of the budget for me too, is that I have fixed overhead costs that are payable to, let's say, the club in this case. There's a specific fee that I pay to the club weekly, and whether I have 2 campers or 102 campers, it's not really, a function of what I pay the club. There's a constant variable. So it's like you pay a lease. So whether you have 150 customers coming into your store or 300, the lease payment is the same every month. Also, things like lunches, camp lunches. I try to support the club with camp lunches, buying the camp lunches from the club, and I have to pay that every week as well. So that's a part of the balance that you try to find in budgeting the camp expenses.
Well, that's pretty much all that I need to know. You covered it all. See? It's easy.
Yeah.
And it answered every question. So.
Well, I think the interesting thing is every little business operation is going to be dynamic. You're going to have different variables that affect each entity.
Right.
You know, in my case, I got specific things that affect what I do,
Mm-hmm.
and it's, you know, if it's up to me, I would give you as an employee, you know, 40 hours a week every week.
Mm-hmm.
But because of, you know, the numbers game, I have to constantly balance that and say I can't give you those hours because we don't have enough campers.
Right.
So it's a mix and match constant issue for
Yeah.
me to balance this, and I think this is what, honestly speaking, most people don't realize that
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest with you.
Right.
Okay?
It's kind of like a
Yeah.
supply and demand thing.
Constant is strictly supply and demand,
Mhm.
strictly, and that's, you know, I mean, supply and demand, that relationship would show itself in many different forms,
Mhm.
in different situations. Okay, I'm very clear over that relationship in our operation here.
Mhm.
You know, so, but yeah, it's not just about hitting tennis balls out here.
Yeah. Not at all.
To say the least.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Good deal.
yeah, that was it.
That was it.
Good deal.
Done.
Well, here's a chance to ask
Thank
other
you.
questions if you have
Yeah.
other questions.